Brittopian.
Hello, it's Brittopian here, and today I will be taking a look at a classic space set. The classic space set is number 6927 and it is called the All-Terrain Vehicle. It is also known as the Mobile Tracking Station. It comes with 170 pieces and is from the year 1981. It also includes two minifigures. The two minifigures include one red one and one white one, and they are both the classic space style minifigures. I love this set, it's got loads of great parts, and it is a fun play set for young people and those who are fans of the theme and who wish to collect this theme. This set was bought for £30 on eBay, and of course it is second hand. It wasn't included with a box or instructions, but I was able to use instructions online to build this. The set has some wear and tear because there is some yellowing on certain pieces, such as this plate piece across here you can see. And it also has a bit of a stiffening on some of the wheels, like the front wheels, although you can't always tell, which is good. It also has a bit of a weakened chin strap, I believe, on one of the minifigures. Some of these white parts could easily be replaced though, because they are not old pieces, most of them. They are pieces that are still available in this colour and style, so you could replace some of the parts if some of them are damaged. The set itself is really cool. I love lots of things about it, especially the shape of the front, where it's got the nice blue canopy windscreens. It has two of them there that are actually stacked on top of each other, similarly to how they stack them on the Galaxy Explorer set. I also love how they've got this inverted windscreen canopy piece at the bottom that actually is attached on the top of the studs, on the bottom of the studs here on this plate. So it actually gives you this sort of enclosed section that comes to a point. I really love that they include 6 wheels rather than just 4, because it really adds to that all-terrain vibe that the set is trying to represent. One thing they would have been nice was obviously be a little bit of covering over the top of the wheels, but then for space they usually don't have that anyway, and a lot of rovers that are used in real life space don't have any mud guards because of course there's no mud in space, although there could be dirt or obviously there could be minerals, but usually there's no mud seen on a lot of surfaces. So one thing I'm not such keen on is that also the fact that these thrusters at the back are quite big. I feel like they should have used something a bit more mid-sized, because this is a land vehicle, so I don't know why you need thrusters that big for something that's not meant to fly. They could have used something more this size, which is a bit smaller. I think there's a lot of good things about this set, but the best thing about the set overall is definitely the play feature, because if you open these up, you can actually leave this behind. And that simply works by grabbing the inside of this section of the build using these slope bricks. And it actually rests perfectly on the ground because of these legs. When I was first built it, I actually forgot to put the legs on and it actually wasn't working. And I was like, what have I done wrong? Why is it broken? Is it broken or something? And then I realised I missed the legs off. But if you put the legs on, it can do it perfectly. And you can drive it back in, and all you have to do is pull these inwards, and it lifts it back up, and it can drive off again. It's really cool. Even today in LEGO, they hardly do anything as well designed as this. And it's quite a shame, especially for a set that's only got 170 pieces, that LEGO can't do more stuff like this. I mean, LEGO's got a lot of great sets now, but this is just crazy how fun it is. Even for an adult collector, it's just really cool to see such great design and build techniques. It uses that light piece that sticks out to slowly ascend this slope, and it actually works really, really smoothly. It's got other little details like the ladders in black here and here, which are good, and they add a bit of texture. They're not majorly needed, but they do look really good. I don't like the fact that this ladder covers up that printed brick underneath that's got the lines on, but I kind of understand why they did it, because it's just sort of adds to that sort of cluttered mishmashy sort of fun of classic space that sometimes you get. I do like the little red lights at the front, they look cool. I think they actually contrast nicer with the blue windscreens than yellow lights would have. I love that you can put the little walkie-talkie communications device on a clip at the side, and it actually looks like an antennae for the vehicle as well. You can even hold a wrench on the other side. Another thing I don't like is that you can see this really well on this side, the aerials, but on this side it doesn't look as good. And if these pieces are faded, it shows even more. What I would have liked is if they'd made this double thick and had these facing both ways, but of course that would have used more parts and would have looked a bit more bulky on top. So I can understand why they didn't do that. Another thing that I don't like about this set is how the seat inside of the command center part has to have the astronaut without the air tanks because of the type of seat. I would have preferred if they'd used one of the normal classic space seats that actually can house the air tanks, but that might not fit in there very well. Although I would have taken a compromise and had a seat that didn't rotate and still had it in there, because obviously the seat can actually move round because it's on a turntable piece. I would have preferred to have not had that and had a seat that was more accommodating for the minifigure. Another thing you can do with this set that's really cool is you can actually lift the top part of this up. So if you want to access the minifigure inside, you can easily get to him. As for the minifigure, of course, like I said, you get a white one here, and the print is quite faded, and the condition isn't perfect, but it's not too terrible. The chin strap is also intact on this minifigure. So you get a white minifigure, and you get a red one, which is inside of here. Which brings me to another point that I was going to say that I don't like, and that's the fact that this has no roof. I feel like that this bit should have been covered over and had a roof. The exposed stud's there, so there's no reason they couldn't have done it. And it would have connected nicely on top of this, and they could have done this in the same trans yellow as this, and I think it would have looked really cool. The minifigure is quite low down in there, which I actually quite like, because he's scouting for minerals, and the fact you've got this windscreen at the bottom means you can see on the ground, which is really nice. I even liked how the white plates look that separate the blue sections. I prefer trans yellow as a colour in space than trans blue, but I feel like the combination of using trans yellow and trans blue works really well here. They've even included the nice printed bit with the arrow on to show you the function of opening this, and also it has the classic space logo on a printed brick. Both of those pieces are copied on both sides of the set. And here you can see the red minifigure as well, which is the classic space one. Both of them look amazing. I love the red one the most, and I think it stands out the most, the logo still, even though it's faded. And of course, neither of them have alternative faces because these didn't. But you can see the helmets are still pretty good, and I believe these are the second edition of helmet, but I'm not entirely sure. And they look really good, and considering they're faded, they still look really cool, these figures. They can sort of get away with it, unlike a lot of figures that would be faded. You get the air tank there, which I've just hung on an aerial, and that's only because, like I said, you can't see the minifigure in that seat when he's got the air tank on. But of course, you can just pull this off and put it back on the minifigure if you wish. I love these little antennae on the side here as well, although one of them has fallen off, and they do fall off quite easy if you are grabbing the side of the set. The wheel pieces are not used anymore, but I have seen them in other colours before, such as white. Not in modern times, but they are really cool wheels, and I love the gap in the middle for detail. I think the grey wheels was a good choice as well. I think it looks better than if they were white wheels, because it wouldn't have contrasted as nicely. My favourite part of the whole set is definitely the actual command center and how well it comes out. I think it looks really good just on its own. They could have even just sold this without anything else, but I think obviously the mechanism of lining this up is just really cool. The only downside of this section and this mechanism is that the car itself does not look that great when it's got nothing in there. It looks pretty empty, but I don't really mind that. I think it's worth the compromise to be able to have this awesome function. And it's quite a big set for 170 pieces. It's not massive, but it feels like what you should be getting. And I know I paid 30 quid for this, which is a lot by today's standards, especially for the piece count. I still can sort of feel not too bad about that because of the amazing play feature and because of the getting the original parts and everything. And obviously you get 2 minifigures, which is a nice bonus. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this set, really. There's not a lot else you need to say. It's not really anything too massively bad. There's obviously flaws, but there's not many of them. And for a set that's released in 1981, it's pretty impressive to me, especially when there's so many sets now that can't do stuff as exciting as this. But anyway, let's show a quick comparison of the size of this set compared to a couple of other sets, because, you know, it's good to know what size you're getting when you're getting a set. So what you can do is you can put this back in. Oh yeah, make sure you don't have it around this way because it won't work. It has to be this way. But yeah, you push it back in, you just pull this in, you pull this in, and it drives away. It's just so cool. I love it. And yeah, the minifigures, because of how deep that is, it's a bit hard to push one of the minifigures down, but once you do it, it's really cool. In my opinion, it's probably better to not have a minifigure in this bit because of what I said, but then it seems a shame to not have anything in the command center section. But anyway, like I said, let's see a comparison of the size of the set. Here's a nice size comparison with the LEGO Classic Space one-man spaceship. This is the LL918 famous set, and this set is probably more popular than this set, but they are both awesome sets, and if you put them together you can see the size comparison. They're not a lot different in size, with this one being slightly longer but not as bulky. Both sets are awesome, and I recommend both of these sets. It's hard for me to pick a favourite of these two, to be honest, but I'd probably go for this one because it just is more iconic, and I do probably prefer the less white because of white's yellowing, and I just feel like that the grey is more loyal to Classic Space. But then again, I feel like if you've got it on a grey base, like this example shown here, the white does stand out pretty well. So both sets are amazing, and this set is really worth getting, although it can be quite expensive, so try and get it on a good price. I got it from eBay, like I say, but you could probably get this from Bricklink as well. But yeah, anyway, let's have another look with another set. Yeah, so for the hell of it, here's a picture of what it would look like with a modern day Speed Champions car. Obviously, you can see how crazily different they are, but I want to show you because of the size. When you compare the size of this with this, you can see they're very similar in size. And when you think about it, this set cost me 20 quid. This set cost me 30 quid. Which sounds a lot, but when you take into account the age of the set and the limited availability of it now being hard to get, it's not that bad. I know this has got more pieces than this as well, but the actual amount of physical Lego you get is actually more probably than the Speed Champions car. So yeah, it's not a bad value really when you think about it. But anyway, they're just my thoughts on the set. There's not lots I really need to say. Like I say, it's great. It's got lots of good features, and I even like the transparent yellow windscreen pieces that are put in there. It's definitely good even in today's standards. Obviously the parts get faded, especially white pieces going yellow, but you can replace some of those. But yeah, anyway, feel free to like and subscribe to more videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can also share this video if you want other Classic Space fans to see the review of the sets. And hope you come back for more videos. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.